14, and the Coyotes beat UC Davis 35-21. The Oaks now.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us this morning. And forgive me for watching the monitor. Friday morning, I had everything set up and I hit go and I turned my attention to the radio show and stream never started. So I don't know what the problem was. It was if it was a YouTube issue, if it was an internal issue, but I hit the go button and nothing. So because I didn't realize honestly until the end of the hour that we had not been up and running. So forgive me for that. We are up and running this morning. And so let's get going on the radio as well. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, here we go.
The Doctor of Discernment is on the air. I love the Greg Belfrage show.
I've been listening to you for years, Greg. Thanks for what you do and keeping us informed.
You sound a little taller on radio. Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I don't believe in the no-win scenario.
This is the Greg.
Good morning, my friend. The marketplace of ideas is open. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. Monday, December 16th, we had Alejandro Mayorkas, who is the Secretary of Homeland Security, responding to the drone and what's happening with drones. And he had he had a conversation with George Stephanopoulos this week. And he said, there's no question that people are seeing drones. He said, I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings. He said some of those drone sightings are, in fact, drones. Some are manned aircraft that are commonly mistaken for drones, he said. But there's no question that drones are being sighted. He told Stephanopoulos, I want to assure the American public that we're on it. And then he called on Congress to expand local and state authority to help address the issue. Expanded authority. He said it's critical as you think the federal government needs more authority? I mean, that's why it's critical, as we have all said for a number of years, that we need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation. Our authorities currently are limited and they are set to expire. We need them extended and expanded. We want state and local authorities to also have the ability to counter growing activity under federal supervision, he said. So this caused problems on Friday. You had airports in New York State that were shut down for a time on Friday because of drone sightings. So a lot of attention on this. So after Mayorkas, then Chuck Schumer of New York has requested that a drone detection system be sent to New York and New Jersey. So he's pushing for the Robin radar systems, which he says has a better chance of detecting the drones. Compared with linear system, it's 360 degrees. So Schumer told reporters yesterday it's remarkable that despite the volume of sightings, we have more questions than answers. Really, are you surprised with this administration that there are more questions than answers? Honestly, I can't say that I am. Schumer said some of the drones are small. Some of the drones' flight patterns are erratic. Multiple drones flying together can confuse a traditional radar system. And that's why, again, this new technology can really get us the answers that we need. So, which is that I understand, makes some sense. Then you also had New York Governor Kathy Hochul saying yesterday, she said, in response to my calls for additional resources, our federal partners are deploying a state-of-the-art drone detection system to New York State, she said. And then she said additional support from Congress was needed. So what it always turns to. We've got to have more federal funding. The idea that the federal government does not have do you know what I mean? That they do not have enough money is really, I think, we've got Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy who are getting ready to lead DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, looking to, and Democrats haven't. Oh, we need more money. We've got to have more money to be able to respond to this issue. So that's a little bit difficult to believe. So that's a big story this morning. Also, now there are things going on with Donald Trump and ABC News and George Stephanopoulos, because stories were late last week that Donald Trump on Friday is going to appear in Florida this week for a deposition as part of his defamation lawsuit against George Stephanopoulos. So the judge had ordered Trump then on Friday to appear in Florida this week for that deposition. So that was moving forward. And then in the midst of that, ABC News and George Stephanopoulos reached a settlement with Donald Trump in his defamation suit. And some are thinking that Donald Trump is letting them off the hook with way too little. Way too little. $15 million. And there are others who are suggesting he could have received a lot more. So the settlement was, again, the judge then on Friday telling Donald Trump to, testify this week, and then the next day, Saturday, the settlement was filed. So they have come to an agreement, avoided the trial. ABC News will pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to a presidential foundation and museum to be established by or for Trump. As presidents of the have established in the past, they said. And then additionally, they're paying $1 million in Trump attorney fees. Stephanopoulos and ABC News also had to issue statements of regret about after Stephanopoulos made comments this year that prompted Trump then to file the defamation suit. So the note reads, ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding, I bet they do. You think George Stephanopoulos regrets the statement? I think what they regret is that it cost them $15 million. That's what they regret. I don't think they regret the statement, but that's what they're saying. So they regret statements made during an interview with Donald Trump on March 10th, 2024. So, well, it's really shoring up to be a great new year for Donald Trump. So, meanwhile, George Stephanopoulos over the weekend, he didn't. Any news of the settlement did not appear on ABC's This Week program. Now, again, and I don't know when they tape that. Oftentimes, This Week is taped on Fridays. Well, they reached the agreement on Saturday. I maybe understand why they didn't. you think you would have created something to insert in the program? Because that's big news. Also, other news, big stories this morning. This is from Axios. Trump's team steps up push for Democrats to back his nominees. So they're reaching out to some key Democrats this week to arrange meetings with Scott Turner, who was Donald Trump's pick for Housing and Urban Development Secretary. Turner is scheduled to meet with Senator Elizabeth Warren, as well as others. So they're reaching out to Democrats. Turner is also scheduled to meet with incoming Senate Majority Leader John Thune as part of his schedule. Yeah, I don't. The other stories, the Hill's got a piece about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And especially because he's trying to win over skeptics then among Republicans as he begins his hearings. And there's a story that's trending this morning about Mitch McConnell and advising Kennedy to stay away about, talking about polio vaccines and so on. And I'll share more with you about that when we start running down trending stories. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley said he wants to talk to Kennedy about genetically modified foods. That's a big issue for farmers. Grassley said you can't feed 9 billion people on the face of this earth if you don't take advantage of genetic engineering. So Grassley also may have conversations with Kennedy over high fructose corn syrup. There's a lot of concern about that because it's responsible for obesity. A lot of folks try to avoid it. Grassley said, I may have to spend a lot of time educating him about agriculture. Grassley said. So among other Republicans, as they, issues that they plan to talk to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about. Also, the Hill's got a story also this morning that Donald Trump getting ready for a battle with Democrats in the Supreme Court over birthright citizenship. And Trump has identified that as a top priority for his incoming administration. And Republicans are saying that the 14th Amendment's language, which grants all people born in the United States citizenship, is being exploited in a way that was never intended or anticipated. And the 14th Amendment, what it was designed to do was to make sure that slaves that were being brought to the United States, being forced into slavery then, that they were citizens of the country. And so how that has been perverted over the period of time, this is going to be a big issue. Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama said, I've always thought, he's talking about the 14th Amendment. I've always thought it was a bad law to where anybody was born here was an automatic citizen. I'd be all for making that change, he said. And Trump talked about this when he was recently on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker. And I covered that in a lot of detail after Trump had spoken about it. So now what you're hearing is others who are expanding on what Trump was talking about and where it may go. A lot of it, maybe, I think Trump's inauguration will be coming up fairly quickly. But until he gets into office, there's really not much can be done at this moment. Also, Senator Mitt Romney. This is interesting. This is a piece from the Washington Examiner. And he's saying that people cannot complain about Donald Trump's cabinet picks. Because now keep in mind, Senator Romney has been very, very critical of Donald Trump. But Romney was on CNN State of the Union on Sunday, and he said since Trump won the election overwhelmingly, he should be given a chance to enact his policies. He says Donald Trump won. He won overwhelmingly. He said what he was going to do, and that's what he's doing. I mean, people are saying, oh, I don't like this appointment or this policy that he's talking about. But those are things he said he was going to do when he ran. So you can't complain about someone who does what he said he was going to do. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a little bit because Mitt Romney has not been the biggest fan of Donald Trump. So he's been at odds with Donald Trump on a number of things. But then he went on to say, I agree with him on a lot of policy fronts. I disagree with him on some things. But it's like, okay, give him a chance to do what he said he's going to do and see how it works out. This is Mitt Romney defending Trump. Pretty crazy. Romney said that a very famous book talked about Abraham Lincoln choosing a team of rivals. This is a team of people who were very, very different, extraordinarily different backgrounds, different perspectives on issues. And in some cases, I think even than the president, so an unusual collection of individuals, not the people I would have chosen. But I lost. He won, all right. I would like to revisit that and win, but I didn't get the chance. So Romney talking about Donald Trump and giving Trump a chance. This caught my attention because, if you're a longtime listener of the program, I'm not a big fan of the time changes. They get harder on me every year. I just really, really dislike having to change the clocks back. Turning them back in the fall and then, spring forward, fall back, right? You turn them back in the fall and forward in the spring. I hate the time changes. That's just a personal issue for me. Well, Donald Trump made an announcement in a post on True Social, and he's saying that these time changes are very costly to the country. He said the Republican Party will use its best efforts to eliminate daylight saving time, which has a small but strong constituency, but shouldn't, he said. Daylight saving time is inconvenient and very costly to our nation. So then there were people who were saying, but pointing out that eliminating making daylight saving time permanent are different things. So does he mean permanent standard time or permanent daylight savings time? I don't care. What I want to see is an end to the time changes. That's what I have wanted for a long time. I have hope for it. I mean, I'm not down on my knees praying for time changes, but they're difficult for me especially as I've gotten older. It was no big deal when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, and changing the clocks, and it's like, really? And now I find myself as I get older, time flies. So it seems like we're doing it a lot more often. When you're younger, time doesn't move as fast as when you get older. And man, it is slipping by at a breakneck pace right now. And this is pretty incredible. I don't know if you heard this. Van Jones comments that he made, and this was at the New York Times Deal Book Summit, and Van Jones was there, and he was talking about how Donald Trump's victory is just another example of the dissatisfaction that Americans have. And he said, I want to talk real. You guys shouldn't be as happy as you are because 2016 people voted for change because they were fed up and sick of it, gave Trump a chance. 2020 people voted for change because they were sick of Trump. And that goes on. So some of that, Van Jones, I think some of this you have to, but then he went on to say, Van Jones, about Trump and his success. He said, let me be very clear. Donald Trump is smarter than me, you, and all the critics. You know how I know? Because he has the White House, the Senate, the House, the Supreme Court, the popular vote. He has a massive media ecosystem bigger than the mainstream built, around him and for him. And religious fervor in a political movement around him, he said. And he goes on. He said of Trump, this dude is a phenomenon. He is the most powerful human on earth and in our lifetime. And then he went on to mock the left for questioning how Trump won the election, saying they look like idiots to ordinary people. So Van Jones has kind of a startling moment of clarity after this election. And I mentioned that because a lot of people don't. It's the same old thing. They're just going to right back to it again. So that's a look at the big stories this morning. 627, partly cloudy and 34. This hour of the Greg Belfrage Show brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
528 Kello News Talk 1320 107.
So Van Jones gets a clue this year.
Bring charm from the outdoors into your home with Renewal by Anderson Picture and Combination Windows. Optimizing a beautiful view and light in the bedroom, kitchen, or living room from ABC Seamless of Sioux Falls. Call 605-646-2667 today. Let's ABC Seamless.
J&M Transmission of T has a new location in Sioux Falls on 41st Street. When you need an oil change, brakes, or a transmission repair, have one of their ASE certified technicians diagnose the problem. J&M has served the community for 25 plus years. Happy holidays from Jerry and Mary Ellen.
Make this holiday season a hole-in-one at Sioux Falls Golf where the fairways gleam. Prairie Green, Elmwood, and Keene Park, it's a golfer's dream. This holiday season, swing into the fun. Save 15% on season passes, and the golfer on your list is done. Tee off with friends, let the good times roll. Perfecting your swing is our holiday goal. So clean off your clubs, come join the cheer. At Sioux Falls Golf, let's make memories this year. On behalf of all of us at Sioux Falls Golf, we wish you a happy holidays.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
Slow it down. Get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Estella's Pharma.
Partly cloudy skies today with a high temperature at 40. West winds at 20 to 35 miles per hour.
And in Sioux Falls at 6:30, partly cloudy and 33 currently at Kello. Joe Bowman is in the Kello.com News Center. Coming up, one woman is dead after a single vehicle crash in Sioux Falls over the weekend. Details on the way here at Kello.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on the Hill this week for 4 packed days of meetings in his push to be confirmed as HHS Secretary.
Kennedy will need to shore up support with Republicans and members of the Senate's Health Committee that oversees federal health agencies. He has been a skeptic of vaccines and overprocessed foods.
That is Fox's Jared Halpern. The Pentagon still doesn't know who's behind the drone activity near military installations, but DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says,
I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology.
Mayorkas speaking on ABC's This Week. New York going to be getting some new drone detection technology. Just trying to figure out what's going on. America is listening to Fox News.
News brought to you by Sioux Falls Implant and Sedation Dentistry. They fix your teeth while you sleep.
Kello News Time, 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. One woman is dead after a single crash in Sioux Falls over the weekend. Officials say it happened Saturday afternoon on I-229 as the driver was exiting onto I-29 South. The woman reportedly lost control of her car, entering into the ditch on the right side of the road and colliding with a tree. The driver died at the scene. She was 22 years old. Her name has not yet been released. As artificial intelligence technology continues to emerge, there's concern on how South Dakota and the U.S. can power it. Incoming State Senate Majority Leader Jim Melhoff was part of a legislative summer study committee on AI. He says the power needs of AI data centers are staggering.
It's a huge national security thing. It's very important that the United States be a leader in that event. But if we're going to be, we're going to have a reliable energy grid, and we're going to have an abundance of dispatchable generation to keep those data centers running.
Melhoff says the nation's power grid needs to be strengthened. North Dakota officially has a new governor and lieutenant governor. Governor Kelly Armstrong and Lieutenant Governor Michelle Strindon were sworn in on Friday. Outgoing Governor Doug Burgum was nominated by President-elect Trump to head up the U.S. Department of the Interior. Kelly Armstrong is North Dakota's 34th governor. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem has appointed Judge Abby Howard to the 3rd Judicial Court. Howard is from Volga and a SDSU and USD alum. Noem says Howard was raised with service to others as a foundational principle. Abby Howard has been serving as a magistrate judge since 2018. And in sports, South Dakota State and University of South Dakota football are both moving on to the FCS semifinals after big wins over the weekend. The Jackrabbits steamrolled Incarnate Word 55-14, and the Coyotes beat UC Davis 35-21. The Yotes now advance to the program's first ever Division I FCS semifinal game. From the Kello.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Weather brought to you by Intech Cleaning and Restoration. If you need it clean, call the Intech team. IntechClean.com.
Partly cloudy skies today, mild weather, our high temperature at 40, but also windy conditions, a west wind at 20 to 35. Forecast tonight, light wind, partly cloudy, low at 22. Tomorrow, increase in clouds and a chance of light snow and a high at 32 degrees. That's your weather update. From the Storm Center at Kettleland TV, I'm Brian Karstens.
From the Sioux Empire to the world, outer space, and beyond, if there's something fascinating, we're talking about it. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Over the next 2 weeks during Christmas and New Year's, almost 8 million will travel by air and will be recorded and identified using AI facial recognition. How good has it gotten? I'm Kim Commando for Oracle. Cut your cloud bill in half. Move over to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Find out if your company qualifies at oracle.com/Kim. Now understand that it's not just your face the AI uses to identify you. It's all of you. Your face, absolutely, but also your walk. It's called your gait. Like your handwriting, your gait is unique and different from everyone else's. which means if they're looking for you, they can see you coming. But what if you disguise yourself? A mustache, a beard, shorter hair, longer hair, no hair, dark glasses, baseball caps, COVID masks. It doesn't matter. Your features, for instance, the distance between your eyes, the size of your ears, your posture, are all unique. And the AI is so good that your holiday trip will be saved forever in the cloud. Stay tech ahead the easy way with my free newsletter at getkim.com. Even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere, from self-driving cars to molecular medicine to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, it's coming fast. But AI needs a lot of speed and computing power. So how do you compete without costs just spiraling out of control? Time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. It's a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all your AI machine learning workloads. OCI costs 50% less for computing and 80% less for networking. Thousands of businesses have already upgraded. Oracle is offering to cut your current cloud bill in half if you move to OCI. Offer ends December 31st, 2024. See if your company qualifies for this special offer at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim, oracle.com/Kim.
The Kim Commando Show, live Saturday mornings at 9. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is brought to you by Tires, your Give You More tire and automotive store. Financing programs available, 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
We live in a world of uncertainty where it's become difficult to know who we can count on. But one thing we can all agree on is that we need a good night's sleep every day. For 30 years, Comfort King has been focused on building the world's best mattress and helping your friends, family, neighbors, and you sleep better. At Comfort King, we believe in American ingenuity and craftsmanship. We believe in making products that last a long time. When it's time for your next bed, rest assured that you can trust Comfort King.
The best way to describe Farmers Union is family.
South Dakota Farmers Union is run by producers like myself. People can really
I want to give you a heads up that I will be on vacation next week. So I will be gone next week. And in fact, I'll be gone through the New Year's holiday. Really enjoy taking this time off this time of the year. So I just want to give you a heads up about that. I'll be talking about it on the air a little bit more as we get later into the week. But
Find your prescription on singlecare.com.
so in terms of what I'll be doing on YouTube or Facebook, I really don't know. I don't have any specific plans. So, because I don't have any plans, so I should have some time. So I enjoy, especially the 4th hour. I enjoy those. Enjoy interacting with all of you. It's a lot of fun for me. So, and I hope it is for you too. Kind of defeat the whole purpose. It was just fun for me. All right, let's get set here.
Between now and Inauguration Day, the country is watching.
How will things change in government?
Find out the latest on what's in play and who's leading the way.
Everything you need to know is right here on Kello News Talk 1320 107.9. Entertaining.
6:39, Martin Lake Lonnie in 33. Good morning, my friend. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. We're getting close to Christmas. Great to have you along this morning, this hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. Brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
What's trending now?
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin. Hashtag does that. News and views from Belf's News Gallery.
As we look at stories that are trending this morning, George Stephanopoulos and ABC have apologized to Donald Trump. and are paying Trump $15 million in order to settle the defamation suit that Donald Trump had filed against them. So the $15 million, the settlement was filed on Saturday. So they have come to an agreement, means there will be no trial. And it was getting ready to get underway. In fact, Donald Trump was going to be deposed this week, and which the judge had said on Friday. And then on Saturday, the announcement was filed that they had come to a decision. Stephanopoulos and ABC News had to issue statements of regret. ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding Donald Trump that were made during an interview by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy Mace. And ABC News said they were pleased to have concluded the case. So Trump had filed the defamation lawsuit against Stephanopoulos after he had said that Trump was liable for rape, which was untrue, and which is why ABC News is glad to come to an agreement with Donald Trump. Also trending, what's happening with these drones in the New York area, in the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, and in that area. So Governor Kathy Hochul had slammed the Biden administration's response, telling and I think this was probably before Alexander Mayorkas had came out and talked about this, providing more money for the city of New York. And so Hochul came after New York Senator Chuck Schumer, New Jersey Senators Cory Booker, and others. All requested clarity on what was going on. And I'm looking for, she slammed the Biden administration's bumbling response and said that it had gone too far, she said. What else is new, though? Isn't that the case of everything we see coming out of this administration? Like suddenly what is this, a wake-up call then for some on the East Coast to what Americans have known, I think, for quite a period of time? Also, Donald Trump, as we're talking about the drone controversies, Donald Trump said he is demanding that the government come clean about what's going on with these drones. He said, I don't think it's regular off-the-shelf drones that are flown around here. Based on what we saw, it was pretty good size, he said, almost the size of a small vehicle. And then Trump said, mysterious drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now, otherwise, shoot them down, Trump said. I don't think we want to be encouraging people to shoot them. Also, trending this morning, Senator Mitch McConnell seemed to be taking aim at Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and there are reports out then that he would revoke the polio vaccine, and a portion of McConnell's left leg is paralyzed due to a childhood bout with polio. And so he reacted to the New York Times report on Friday about Kennedy's lawyer petitioning the government on the vaccine. And what McConnell has said is he's warning Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to steer clear of these efforts And he said that he raised the alarm over specious disinformation. So he is being front and center on this issue. McConnell said, like millions of families before them, my parents knew the pain and fear of watching their child struggle with the life-altering diagnosis of polio from the age of 2. Normal life without paralysis was only possible for me because of the miraculous combination of modern medicine and a mother's love. But for millions who came after me, the real miracle was the saving power of the polio vaccine. So he's urging Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to steer clear of that issue. Donald Trump has made some more announcements. He appointed Devin Nunes, who is currently the CEO of True Social. Donald Trump appointed him to serve as the chairman of a presidential intelligence advisory board. And Trump said Nunes would draw on his experience as former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee in order to provide Trump with independent assessments of the effectiveness and propriety of the U.S. intelligence community's activities. Donald Trump has also decided to appoint Richard Grenell to serve as his envoy for special missions. So Grenell served in several positions during Donald Trump's first administration, and he has been under consideration then for other roles for the president's upcoming term. And Trump said, Rick will work in some of the hottest spots around the world, including Venezuela and North Korea. Also, this is, Donald Trump, as you know, attended Saturday's Army-Navy football game. J.D. Vance was there. Daniel Penny was there. And you've got, this is a piece from the Econo Times. There are a number of stories that were trending. And I chose this one from Econo Times because the reaction, everybody's upset. They go to the game. So you got some who were tweeting, very favorable comments, and then those who were tweeting, using Penny for political theatrics at a sacred event like this is shameful. Some are saying it's like, really? So Donald Trump shows up at the game, Daniel Penny there. How does that distract from your enjoyment of the game? So they put Trump on the big screen, maybe a couple of times. Does that really take away from your ability to be able to enjoy the game? I don't think so. People just love to carp. Just love to carp and complain. So Donald Trump unveiled a new priority for his administration, promising to end daylight saving time in his second term. This was a post on True Social. We'll talk about that in more detail coming up this morning. Also, the suspect who is charged with the murder of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, has retained a prominent attorney to represent him on the New York charges. And she didn't make any statements as of yet, but very high-profile attorney who is married to also another very high-profile attorney, which kind of makes sense. Other stories trending this morning. Craven the Hunter off to an incredibly weak start. So Kraven the Hunter, now playing in the United States, courtesy of Sony Pictures, and potentially it just didn't do well. It's off to a weak start. The domestic box office made $2 million in Thursday previews. So the movie was projected to make between 13 to 15 million during its opening 3-day weekend. Which so this story was more of a preview based on the initial Thursday opening. Not good. Also, YouTube TV is raising its price 14%. For those of you who get YouTube TV, $83 a month. And they said the cost of the new YouTube TV base plan subscription is going from $72.99 to $82.99. And this went into effect last week. So they sent a message out to customers on Thursday. And folks are not taking it well. YouTube said, we don't make these decisions lightly, and we realize this impacts our members. With many exciting shows and live events coming up in 2025, we remain committed to bringing you the best of TV all in one place. Thank you for being a loyal member. Well, NFL fans were very upset with this because the price hike going into effect ahead of the NFL playoffs. And so NFL fans not taking it well. One said, I plan on canceling YouTube TV at the end of the NFL season. I urge everyone to do the same. Notice that comment. At the end of the NFL season. Versus so they're outraged, but not so much that they can't cancel YouTube right now, immediately. The end of the NFL season. I think that's what YouTube's counting on. Also, there are a few sports stories that are trending this morning I want to share with you. The Milwaukee Bucks top the Hawks to advance to the NBA Cup Final. So it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks and the Oklahoma City Thunder who will clash in the NBA Cup Final. Few sports stories that are trending this morning. Colorado's Travis Hunter has won the 2024 Heisman Trophy. And also, Navy defeated Army 31-13, ending a 2-game losing streak in the 125th Army-Navy game. So it was Navy with a victory over Army this year. One other sports story that's trending, NFL Hall of Famer Randy Moss told his fans on Instagram Friday that he was diagnosed with cancer. Moss said he's a cancer survivor, that he spent 6 days in the hospital, underwent surgery, and then he thanked his team of doctors and all those who prayed for him. And he said, I'm a cancer survivor. Some trying times, but we made it through. So doctors had found cancer right between the pancreas and the liver, he said. So Moss had stepped away from his role as an analyst on ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown on December 6th. And he said, as soon as I get healthy, I will get back out with guys. I will be on set. Hopefully I can be with you guys soon. My goal is to get back on television with my team, Randy Moss says. Also, Jamie Foxx apparently was hit in the mouth during a dinner altercation Witness to the incident tells TMZ the customers at another table were being rude and vulgar to Jamie Foxx. And he asked them to stop because his family was there. So someone at the other table threw a glass at him that hit him in the face. He was at a birthday dinner with his family. Somebody from another table throwing a glass that hit him in the mouth. He had to get stitches and was recovering. Police were called, and they are investigating what happened. Also, Sheriff's Office in Central Florida is searching for 30 people that they say were part of an intersection takeover that terrorized drivers, damaged cars. The large group had set a fire in the roadway and used the space for cars to do donuts around the flames. And someone could be heard shouting, "There's a baby in the car." Crazy. A lot of damage that they caused. Also, some international stories that are trending as well. A Ukrainian drone struck a campus belonging to Russia's National Guard on Sunday. It's in the Russian region of Chechnya. And this is 500 miles away from the front lines of the fighting between Ukraine and Russia. 500 miles away, that's a pretty deep drone strike into a Russian territory. And that's a look at the stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. Partly cloudy and 33 currently at Kello. This hour of the Greg Belfrage Show brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
Signal has traveled many miles.
Well, thank you so much for letting me join you for this morning. I really appreciate it. Please come back at 9:30 for the fourth hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. Hope to see you then. Thanks again.
The sun is low, so it still has that